The last 24 to 48 hours, I was $126,000 rich. I also lost $126,000 in the last 48 hours because the buyers decided to cool off. I had already planned my next holiday, but this morning I got an email saying we'd like to use our cooling off period if you don't mind, please. I said, no problem at all. How do you keep going to make sure that majority of our deals stick together, to make sure that you don't give up on every single deal? So that's the mindset that I'm going to teach you. Number one, it's very common when we get an offer on a property with a buyer. Let's just say if the purchase price was $1.8 million, if the buyer gives you an offer of $1,780,000, you don't want the buyer to say, congratulations, you've got the deal straight away at $1,780. You want to make sure that the buyer thinks that they've won at the end of every single transaction. Reason being is, if you were to contact that buyer saying, congratulations, the vendor accepted your offer at $1,780, technically that buyer will think that maybe I could have got this property at $1,750 or $1,740. Maybe I gave too much too quick and it got accepted straight away. You don't want the buyer to think that they've won straight away. It gives them doubt. It's human psychology. Avoid doing that. Ideally, what you should be doing with that buyer is saying that if your offer gets accepted at $1,780, sir, just wanted to let you know that our vendors are looking at offers over $1.8 million. Can you give me $1.810 because there isn't an offer on there? And then at the end of the transaction, you should be congratulating him, saying, wow, you've just made this incredible decision, and guess what? You've got your property for the best price, and you're going to thank me for it in the next 5 years' time. So you don't want to close a deal too quick, too much with the buyer. They could think that they can get it a lot more cheaper. Number two, majority of the times I've seen and I've heard you guys, when you're negotiating with a buyer, what happens is there is aggressive negotiation, and it shows on your tone over the phone that you're being aggressive. Try not to be too aggressive because you're actually scaring buyers. You will scare them off. It's like, if you don't give me this price, I want to get it done. No problem at all. I've got no time for this. Yes or no? Try not to be too aggressive with buyers. The word in here I'm using try because I know that majority of you guys don't do it. You will kill the deal. Okay? So don't be too aggressive with your buyers. Don't be too aggressive with your vendors. What's that old saying? Never make a promise when you're making love, and never make a decision when you're angry, because not you speaking. I love you, babe. You're amazing. Fuck. What the fuck did I do? You're a fucking this, you're that, you're that. It's purely just business. Don't involve emotions to it. How many times have you guys been emotionally involved in a transaction that's just backfired on you? Every single time. It happens a lot, and it's normal. It's okay. Number three, always make sure when you're negotiating with a buyer, you create this illusion, this is the best home that there is, and I'm so excited for yourself to make money, because if you've got a 653 square meter block in prime position of real estate, you physically, mentally cannot lose money. And when's a good time to buy real estate? 15 years ago. Create that illusion that they've made the best decision and you're on their side. But in the meantime, you want the vendor to think that they've made the right decision by moving forward too, because it's not about money, it's about the next move, about the next lifestyle. For example, let's just say if your vendor is stuck at $1.8 million. The vendor doesn't want to go less than $1.8 million. They're stuck at 1.8. Tell the buyer, if you were to give me that $1.8 million offer, the vendor is happy throwing the furniture, he's happy throwing that plasma TV that's already fixed on the wall anyways. Give him like a little bit of a bonus, but speak to your vendors first so that they feel like they've actually won. Make the buyer feel like that they've won and you've actually given them an incentive. Number four, typically when the negotiation goes on for too long, if you're trying to drag on a deal, what's that old saying? When the pot's hot, you want to keep stirring it. You don't want the deal to just cool off, because who knows what happens overnight. And if there's one thing that I thought you that I do, what do? I close the deal on the spot, don't I? I never ever allow you to negotiate 48 hours. I get you, thank you very much. I get you guys to close the deal there and then on the spot, so it's done after working so hard for it. You don't want the buyer to just give them 3 days or 4 days to think about it. Let me think about it, I'll get back to you. Make sure you close the deal straight away. Don't give them too much time to think about it. That's the last thing I want to do. Number five, we always ask this to our vendors. At a listing presentation, we always ask this at a buyer negotiation. It's the number one thing you ask a vendor, what's the bare minimum you take? What a fucking stupid question that is. I don't want to tell you what my bare minimum is. Why would they tell you? You're all salespeople, you're all fucking sharks. Why would the vendor tell you what your bare minimum is? They're revealing their secret. Oh, the bare minimum is $1.8 million. So then of course you're going to work on that. If you notice, majority of the smart developers, the smart vendors, they will tell you my bare minimum is $2 million. They've already added up extra 20% on top. They want you to start high and then end up at 1.8. Never ask the question saying, what's your bare minimum price? Or you ask a buyer, what's the maximum you pay for it? Why would he give you his maximum fucking dollars? Like literally ask and say, boom, take this money. Why would he do that? I'm going to do my absolute best to get as much money as I can. You're putting your trust on my ability to be able to negotiate the biggest asset of your life. It's a privilege, sir. I'll go out there, break a record. That's what they want to hear. And as a buyer, you want them to feel like that they've won. What would you use for the buyer? If you were to get this property at $1.9 million, you make the best decision of your life, and you're going to thank me for it in the next 15 years time. Because I understand that you're feeling a little bit nervous today, but guess what? I pushed those buyers 10 years ago, and I could have bought my neighbor's house for $1.2 million. They still had the fear. You'll always have that fear. So if you could eat fear for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, you got nothing to worry. Tell me this, Mr. Buyer. Didn't you want to buy that house 15 years ago? Guys, you bought that property in Lynbrook 15 years ago. You could have bought that property for $350, bro. 15 years ago. But you still had the fear 15 years ago. Last point when it comes to negotiation. We do open for inspections all the time. I'm going to tell you one thing that's so simple when it comes to negotiation. I promise you, if you don't recommend something yourself, don't recommend to your clients. Become an educator yourself, have that knowledge yourself, and then give the same advice.